Great. So cool. We'll get started, and I'll just have you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Robert Lustig. I am a pediatric endocrinologist, so I study hormones in children. I am a professor in pediatric endocrinology at the University of California, San Francisco. I'm also a member of the Institute for Health Policy Studies here as well. And I'm also the president of a nonprofit called the Institute for Responsible Nutrition, a nonprofit that we set up with a mission to eradicate childhood obesity and type 2 diabetes.
You've called sugar poisonous. Can you elaborate on that?
In high dose. Okay. So sugar is toxic in the sense that it proffers a specific set of biochemical alterations that are detrimental to human health, unrelated to its calories. In that respect, it is very much like alcohol. So alcohol is not dangerous because of its calories, even though it's got 7 calories per gram. Alcohol is not dangerous because it causes weight gain. In fact, a lot of alcoholics are actually quite rail thin, yet they're very sick. Alcohol is dangerous because of the molecule, because of the inherent toxicity of the molecule, because of things that alcohol does and how alcohol is metabolized in the body. So when you consume alcohol, number one, some of it goes to the brain, and obviously we celebrate that effect, but obviously if you do that chronically and long term, you get brain damage. In addition, alcohol goes to the liver and is metabolized in the liver. The problem is that alcohol, when it's metabolized in the liver, when provided in excess, it gets turned into fat. And liver fat turns out to be the primary driver of chronic metabolic disease. So all of the diseases of alcohol, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, and brain problems, we are now seeing in children. And they don't drink alcohol. But boy, oh boy, do they consume sugar. Sugar is the alcohol of the child. Children are getting the diseases of alcohol without alcohol. And the reason is because sugar is their alcohol. We have a problem right now in medicine in general. We have 2 camps. We have the camp that has been in charge, shall we say, for the past 45 years. And that camp has basically come down on the side of the premise that a calorie is a calorie, that it's all about the calories, that if you're overweight, it's because you either eat too much or you exercise too little or both. And it's just that simple. And it's just a simple math problem. And anyone can do the math, which allows, shall we say, ancillary service professionals to be able to do the math as well. But this is not about math. This is about science. It's not the physics of the calorie that's in question here. It's about the biochemistry of specific foodstuffs and how they are handled by the body that is in question here. And not everybody understands that science. So what we have now is a burgeoning new nutrition, if you will, that is basically upending the previously held premises, and there's a fight, a revolution, a bloodless revolution so far, but nonetheless a revolution within the field of nutrition and health. And right now it's reached fever pitch, in part because we have now learned that the food industry and the sugar industry has actually impacted in a very negative way the knowledge and the research that went on 45 years ago that led to this premise that it's all about calories, that it's all about saturated fat, that it's all about how much you eat and how little you burn. We now know that that was a canard. We now know that that was a mistake. And so getting people to back away from something that they've believed for 45 years is not easy to do.
So what's the light at the end of the tunnel? What is the most impactful action or actions that people could take, whether they're a sugar consumer or not?
The first is educate the public. You can't have any form of societal intervention until the public is educated. However, education has never solved any substance abuse. Did Nancy Reagan's just say no work? We have an opioid crisis. Bottom line, addictive substances are addictive. So you can have the knowledge that this addictive substance is ruining your health, your life, your family's life, and everyone around you, and you can't do a damn thing about it because it's addictive. That's the definition. Because the biochemistry is stronger than any behavioral effort that you can put up against it. That's the definition of addiction. So, education alone cannot solve this. However, you can't induce a societal intervention. You can't mobilize any sort of governmental forces to change society unless the public is educated and is willing to come along. So now we have the knowledge and now we have the data about sugar and its toxicity and its abuse, its ubiquity, and its negative impact on society. It meets all the criteria for regulation in some fashion. The question is, what should that regulation look like? Who should it be targeted to? How should it be rolled out? And ultimately, who stands to benefit and who stands to lose? These are all questions that have yet to be posed because we haven't gotten the public educated yet. The reason I'm appearing on this video is to educate the public. And your listeners, your viewers, because they understand this, should do the same.